Hi everyone! Welcome to our YouTube channel Research Ready and Student Matters Hub by Doclin. I'm Doclin and we're going to have another lesson video and it's all about the sources of data. Sources of data, napaka-importante nito sa inyong research paper. Kasi ito yung magsasabi kung yung findings natin ay valid or reliable. So meron tayong dalawang klase ng sources of data. We have primary and secondary. Meron ding tinatawag na tertiary sources of data. Pero ang i-discuss natin ngayon ay yung primary at secondary sources of data lang. Gusto kong sabihin sa inyo as a researcher na importanteng alam nyo kung ano yung primary sources of data nyo at kung ano rin yung secondary sources of data nyo. Kasi yung definition nyo ng sources of data nyo ang magdedictate din yung ginamit nyo bang data sa inyong study ay tama or hindi at suit ba yung primary data sa particular research questions na to at nagsusuit din ba yung secondary data sa particular research questions na to. No, dito sa lesson video na to, i-discuss ko yung definition ng dalawa, primary at secondary, kung kailan siya ginagamit, kung paano natin siya madedetermine at magbibigay din ako ng mga examples. Let's start by defining first what do we mean by primary sources of data. Primary sources of data are original materials or information that researchers gather directly from first-hand experience. These sources are generated through direct interaction with the subject of the study through direct observation and measurement. It is collected specifically for the research study at hand. So meaning, ang ibig sabihin nito, ang nakakuha ng data ay mismong yung researcher. Siya mismo yung nag-gather or nag-acquire ng data. These are first-hand information generated by the researchers themselves. Ano ba ang importance ng primary sources of data? So, I have given here 3. The first is primary sources are crucial because they provide first-hand and unfiltered information directly relevant to the research question. Crucial ito kasi nag-o-offer siya ng direct access sa information na pinag-aaralan without intermediaries, without any other people involved in the collection of data. Yung directness niya is very valuable kasi inaalaw niya yung research na mag-interpret ng data by themselves at makapag-draw ng conclusions based sa original context. This ensures authenticity and relevance to the research question. Second, they offer researchers control over data collection methods, allowing for customization and ensure the data meets specific research needs. So pag sinabing customization, kung ano yung pangangailangan talaga ng researcher na ibibigay nitong primary sources of data, hindi kailangan i-fit si data doon sa research. Kung hindi, talagang fit siya dahil yun yung kailangan ng researcher. Ibig sabihin nito, yung researcher can choose how to gather the data. Paano niya ito kukuhanin? Ini-ensure niya rin yung comprehensive at relevance nito doon sa study mo. Hindi mo ipipilit yung data para mag-fit sa study mo kasi fit talaga siya. For example, you can decide on the type of interviews, kung anong type ng survey, ng experiment, or observations na ikakandak mo na nakabase dun sa methods ng collection of data mo na ina-address yung iyong research questions. Pangatlo, this type of data is often used to address unique research questions or to explore new areas of inquiry. Pag sinabi nating unique research questions, yung primary sources of data are particularly valuable kasi hindi pa na-address extensively yung study at ikaw yung mauuna. Where yung mga existing secondary sources of data are very limited. And then, pag sinabi naman nating exploring new areas of inquiry, yung researchers often rely on primary sources kapag nagbe-venture ka sa mga bagong topic, bagong fields, or you are studying an emerging phenomena. Nagkakaroon ka ng direct access sa original data na nag-aalaw para ma-explore mo at ma-discover mo yung mga new insights at saka yung perspectives dun sa field. Ano nga bang mga examples ng primary sources of data? Common is yung surveys tsaka yung questionnaires. Dito sa surveys and questionnaires, yung researcher mismo ang nagde-design, nag-administer ng survey, at siya rin yung nagko-collect ng data directly dun sa kanyang respondents or sa kanyang participants, such as you are getting their attitudes, their behaviors, or their opinions. Another example are interviews. Si researcher mismo ang nagkakandak ng interview, whether it is a structured or semi-structured interviews sa individuals or groups para makagather siya ng in-depth qualitative data. Another example ng primary sources of data, observational studies. Si researcher mismo ang nag-o-observe doon sa kanyang respondents or participants. Systematically, nire-record niya yung behavior or phenomena in real time. So, siya mismo yung nakakakita. Siya mismo yung nag-observe, whether it is participant or non-participant observation. Lastly, na pinaka-common na source ng primary sources of data ay experiments. Si researcher mismo yung nagtetest ng hypothesis para ma-manipulate niya yung variables under controlled conditions. And then later on, siya rin yung nagme-measure ng outcomes. Pero ang tanong, kailan natin ginagamit ang primary sources of data? Firstly, kapag meron tayong unique research questions. When researchers have specific questions na hindi pa na-explore or adequately hindi pa na-address sa mga existing literature na wala kang makikitang data elsewhere. Example, you're conducting a study to explore the relationship between social media usage and mental health among teenagers sa specific na geographic region where yung data na yon ay very scarce or very limited or hindi pa siya naikakandak or wala pa talagang nag-exist. Pangalawa, ginagamit mo ang primary sources of data when you have control over data collection. When researchers need control para doon sa collection ng data niya. Kasi gusto ni researcher, ma-ensure niya yung alignment ng data sa findings precisely with the research objectives. Kunyari, you are designing a survey to assess a customer satisfaction with a newly launched product. Itinitailor mo yung question mo to focus on a specific aspects of interest identified through pilot testing. So, ikaw mismo yung nagmamanipulate not nagmamanipulate, ikaw yung mismong gumagawa ng proseso ng pagko-collect ng data. Pangatlo, context-specific data. Kung ang isang researcher or ang isang research nagre-require siya na dapat yung data mo is context-specific or localized, na hindi available sa mga secondary sources of data. Pang-apat, when there is an emerging or unique phenomena. Kapag nag-study ka ng unique phenomena na bago, emerging o kaya kakaiba at walang secondary data na nag-exist. So, ang gagamitin mo dyan ay primary sources of data. At ang panglima is yung pag meron kang longitudinal studies. Pag sinabi nating longitudinal studies, it require data to be collected over extended periods to observe changes or trends over time. Nagtatrack ka ng career trajectories, kunyari ng professional development ng mga teachers from a particular university over a decade through specific surveys or interviews. So, hindi ka makakagamit niyan ng secondary data. Kailangan mo talaga ng data galing doon sa mga teachers para malaman mo yung kanilang professional development on a specific period of time. Punta naman tayo sa secondary sources of data. Ano ba ang definition nito? Ang secondary sources of data involve information that has already been collected, analyzed, and published by others. Ibig sabihin, ito ay existing na. Hindi ka na kailangan mag-conduct ng survey, ng experiments, ng interviews kasi nandyan na siya. These sources interpret or analyze primary sources of data and are typically produced by someone other than the original researcher. So, ibig sabihin po ma'am, ang secondary data ay pwede naming makita sa mga existing resources. The answer is yes. Ano ba yung example nito? Yung mga books, mga articles, reports, databases, or archives. Etong mga sources na to, nag-o-offer siya ng analysis or restatement of primary sources of data. Kadalasan, nagagamit natin ang secondary sources of data para ma-expound natin, ma-explain pa more ang ating primary sources of data. Usually, they tend to be works which summarize, interpret, organize, or otherwise it provide value or added value sa primary sources of data natin. Nagiging support siya noong primary sources of data natin. Ano ba ang importance ng secondary sources of data? Number one, yung secondary sources of data are valuable for providing context, supporting or refuting existing theories, and comparing findings across different studies or time periods. Pag sinabi nating context, yung secondary sources natin kasi include interpretations, analysis, and summaries of primary sources by other researchers or experts. Nagpo-provide sila ng background information, ng historical context, ng theoretical frameworks, para ma-help na ma-situate natin yung primary research natin dun sa academic landscape. Ibig sabihin, sinusuportahan niya yung ating research study. Another, yung sinabi ko kanina, it supports or refute theories. Ginagamit natin ito para ma-examine natin yung existing theories ba, how is it applied, how is it been tested or challenged by other scholars. Ginagamit din natin ang secondary sources of data para makapag-compare tayo ng findings. Yung findings from multiple or primary studies enable niya sa research para i-compare yung results across different contexts or methodologies or time periods. Pangalawang importance ng secondary data is that they save researchers time and resources by offering readily available data that can be used to complement or validate primary research findings. Ito yung tinatawag na readily available data. Kasi yung mga secondary sources natin are compiled data that has already been collected. They have been analyzed and they have been published by other organizations or researchers. Nakakapag-save siya ng time sa researcher kasi makakakuha yung researcher ng wealth of information kahit hindi siya nagko-collect ng primary data themselves. So, nandiyan na, nag-exist na, no? Pangalawa, dito sa aside from readily available data, they complement primary research. They are supplement to other own research primary findings. Nakakapag-provide sila ng additional perspectives, corroborate findings, or offer contrasting evidence na nakakapagpaganda dun sa ating research. Pwede rin siyang mag-validate ng findings kasi pag nakapagbasa tayo ng mga research findings about a certain topic na katulad sa atin, it can triangulate or validate our findings. Na-enhance na yung reliability at saka yung comprehensiveness ng research conclusions natin kasi sinabi na nung dating research ay ito at ito yung sinabi ko. So, pwedeng mag-corroborate yung findings yung dalawa. And that comes from a secondary data. Thirdly, secondary data allows for longitudinal or comparative analysis that span larger population or longer time frames. So, pag-usapan natin yung longitudinal analysis. Yung secondary sources of data kasi can include data collected over extended periods. Ina-allow niya yung researchers to study trends or changes over time. Kasi maraming mga published materials. Kunyari, published from 2010 to 2020, 2021 to other years. So, nakikita mo yung trends ng data. Pag sinabi naman natin comparative analysis, kasi yung secondary sources of data, ito ay collection ng aggregate of data from diverse populations, regions, time periods, or others. Nagkakaroon ka ng comparison ngayon. Nakikita mo yung similarities, yung disparities across different contexts at kaya itong i-provide ng secondary data. Ano bang mga examples ng secondary sources of data? Pinaka-common yung mga literature reviews. Ito yung pwede natin gamitin which summarizes and analyzes existing research studies at saka mga theoretical frameworks relevant dun sa topic natin. Pwede natin yung ilagay dun sa ating research paper. Other than that, government reports, yung mga statistical data and analysis na ipinablish ng government such as kunyari census data, economic indicators, health statistics, or any other data na nanggaling sa gobyerno at naipublish ito base sa mga pag-aaral. Ang pangatlong source ay academic journals. Yung mga articles written by researchers and scholars na nagpe-present ng findings galing sa primary research studies or theoretical discussions. So, pwede nyo gamitin din yung mga statistics na nilalagay nila dun sa kanilang research paper. At pang-apat ay yung repositories of datasets compiled from various sources or yung tinatawag nating databases. Nagpo-provide siya ng demographic data, economic indicators, or environmental measurements. Pero ang tanong, ma'am, kailan namin gagamitin ang secondary sources of data? Number 1, kapag meron kayong exploratory research. When you're conducting a preliminary research para makagain kayo ng overview or general understanding of a topic. Kunyari, nagre-review kayo ng mga literature tsaka government reports para maintindihan nyo yung historical trends ng global migration pattern. So, pwede kayong gumamit ng secondary data. Pangalawa, ginagamit natin ng secondary data pag meron kayong comparative analysis. Pag nagko-compare kayo ng findings across different studies o populations o kaya geographic locations. Pangatlo, ginagamit din ito sa historical research. Pag nag-aaral kayo ng mga past events, ng trends or phenomena na kailangan ng primary data collection ay hindi siya feasible or hindi siya possible na makuha nyo. Kasi ang gagamitin nyo dito ay archival records. Pwedeng newspaper articles para mas maintindihan nyo yung historical research nyo. Pang-apat na reason na pwede natin gamitin ang secondary data as yung cost and time efficiency. Kapag yung resources mo for primary data collection ay limited, such as funding, time, or access to participants, ang ginagamit na lang natin ay yung data or secondary data. And lastly is large-scale studies. So when studying large populations or geographic areas where primary data collection would be impractical or masyadong magastos. So, kanyari, pinag-aaralan mo is all about health, pwede kang gumamit ng data ng World Health Organization or United Nations databases instead of collecting primary data. That ends our lesson video on the type of sources of data. So, pagkatapos nyo siyang mapanood, sana nagkaroon kayo ng idea kung kailan nyo siya gagamitin at ano ba yung mga sources o pinagmumulan ng primary at saka secondary data. Ulitin ko, as a researcher, dapat alam natin kung anong type ng data ang gagamitin natin kasi ito yung magsasabi kung yung mga data ang inilagay natin sa ating summary of findings or dun sa interpretation ng ating data ay tama or mali. Kasi pwedeng maapektuhan ito yung ibang parts ng ating research paper such as yung conclusions natin, yung implications ng study natin if the data na ginamit natin ay hindi tama or kung hindi man tama, merong kulang. Please like, share, and subscribe our YouTube channel. I would like to welcome all those who are new in our YouTube channel. Please also share this one sa iba pang mga researchers para magkaroon sila ng additional na kaalaman sa paggawa ng research. Always remember, we unlock insights to empower your minds. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you on our next lesson video. Bye-bye!